good, YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we are back with another off-season risk rebuild, as today we're going to be doing the Baltimore Ravens. Now, of course, we're still on the grind of trying to do all 32 teams. There's a lot of teams we haven't done that haven't been playing football in quite some time. That was the Baltimore Ravens. Now, honestly, the season for the Ravens was just plagued by injury. But before we get into this video, though, guys, leave a like and, of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Always greatly appreciate it. It helps grow the channel, and thank you guys so much for that. Baltimore Ravens lost so many players before the season even started. Key players, I'd say. And then, of course, they lost Lamar Jackson towards the end of the season. It just never really went well after that. So the Ravens just unfortunately just had the injury plague hit them pretty hard. But I'm assuming this next year, they can stay healthy. They'll be right back in the mix of things. So nothing to really worry about from Ravens fans. You could get your team to be even better in the offseason, and you come back healthier and you'll be just fine. So let's go ahead and start to rebuild this team as best as we can and try to put this team back on the map. So as far as free agents, we have Deshaun Elliott, we have Calais Campbell, we have Patrick Ricard, Brandon Williams, Justin Houston, LJ Fort, Sammy Watkins, Anthony Averett, Bradley Bozeman, Gene Stone, Justin Ellis, Tyson Williams, Tyler Huntley, and that's about it. So I think first and foremost, the guy I really want is going to Deshaun Elliott for sure. I would love to keep my 25-year-old free safety. I think that makes a ton of sense. It's going to give him a little bit more money just to entice him a little bit even further, and he's back. So we got Deshaun Elliott. Calais Campbell is 36 years old, so technically you could re-sign him. He would cost us about $13 million. So honestly, man, for a 36-year-old, I might stay away from that. Patrick Ricard, since it is a very heavy run offense, I think it is kind of important to have a fullback here. So we're going to try to get Patrick Ricard back and have him be our fullback, and we'll have that. Justin Houston, 33 years old, probably costs a little bit too much money than I'm hoping for. Watkins going to cost a little too much money. Anthony Averett. And then as far as our center depth, we can get Bradley Bozeman to be our center. He's 27 years old, so we could technically just re-sign him real quick as well. So we'll go ahead and give Bradley Bozeman a contract. And just like that, I think I'm ready to roll after that. So if there's anyone else we need back, we'll just try to enter free agency and get them back. So taking a look at day one of the roster of free agency, a fully healthy Ravens roster, you have J.K. Dobbins, who did not play. You got Gus Edwards, who did not play. They had to sign Le'Veon Bell, Devontae Freeman, Latavius Murray. There was a lot of new running backs they signed, but now you get both your backs back, which is awesome. You obviously have Lamar Jackson, who missed a lot of the games towards the end of the year. Rashad Bateman should be good for them. You got Devin Duvernay and Marquise Brown. Ronnie Stanley, who missed a lot of the year as well. You got Mark Andrews, one of the better tight ends in the league. And then obviously you have your offensive line, which is not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. And then defensively, if you take a look, you got Patrick Queen, Owe, Chuck Clark, Marcus Peters, Madhieu, I don't know how to say his name, but Derek Wolfe, and then you got Tyus Bowser, and then Deshaun Elliott, who we obviously re-signed, Marlon Humphrey, Tavon Young, and Marcus Peters. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at free agency now that we know what we're really looking for. So defensive tackle. There is one guy that I know the Ravens sound like they're going to be getting this offseason. If you've seen some tweets on Twitter, then you know what I'm talking about. Tyrann Mathieu's in free agency as well, so that would be a lot of fun. Still Tyrann Mathieu from the Chiefs, but he's going to cost a lot of our cap space, so might stay away from that. I mean, he only costs us like $12 million, but I'm going to try to maybe hit holes that we actually need. Chuck Clark isn't terrible, so I'll just kind of leave that there. But hey, if we come back to that, maybe. The one guy that has been kind of a rumor if he is out here is Antonio Brown. So apparently Antonio Brown tweeted a picture of the Ravens, or of him in a Ravens uniform. Lamar Jackson put some eyes on it. Marquise Brown's his cousin. So I think it's pretty inevitable at this point that Antonio Brown will most likely be a Baltimore Raven, it sounds like. So I don't know what the Ravens would offer him, but I'm going to go ahead and offer him I don't know if the Ravens would offer him this much money, but I'll offer it anyway. So it's going to be 81 total point offer. He is interested in that. So Antonio Brown, I think, will be a Baltimore Raven, it sounds like. So we'll go ahead and sign him in free agency. And then also another guy I saw that I really had some interest in to improve the defensive tackle position was Sebastian Joseph Day, if we can get him somehow. So we lost Calais Campbell, so getting a player on our defensive line would be really, really important. So we have a pretty good offer on him as well. And then last but not least, so we have Sebastian Joseph Day and Antonio Brown we are negotiating for. So those would be two excellent signings. Corner position, safety position. The other kind of thing we needed was outside linebacker, I noticed. And maybe even another middle linebacker if we wanted to. So yeah, our left outside linebacker currently is a 64 overall. So you could go get Justin Houston back, Azeez Al-Share, or you could just draft a running back as well, or not a running back, a linebacker, Devondre Campbell, Leighton Vander Esch. So our linebackers, you know, we could technically go for another middle linebacker. We could use one, but I might just roll with what we got at the linebacker position, Quan Alexander. So we're going to go ahead. Actually, to be honest with you, what we could do is have Tyus Bowser move to the other side. I just noticed that. We actually have two decent outside linebackers on the right side. So what we can do is actually move one of them to the left side. That makes a lot more sense to do. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. Today's video is brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is a DFS player props website that allows you to go over or under on players' projections. You're facing no one in the world but yourself and the numbers. So let me go ahead and show you a few examples of how it works. So on this example, I went for a flex play on Deebo Samuel, Cordell Patterson, Laviska Shenault, and David Johnson, who were all able to hit or go under the numbers, which led to me getting $170. That's just one example. And here's another example where I didn't actually get everyone correct, but I still didn't walk away with nothing. Aaron Jones was able to hit over his fantasy score. Chase Edmonds got over 10 fantasy points, and Mercedes Lewis got under 18.5 receiving yards. But unfortunately for me, DeAndre Hopkins did not get a touchdown in this game. If you do decide to sign up, my link is down in the description below. Use code Crushables. They are offering 100% deposit match up to $100. So honestly, looking at the defense now, we pretty much have what we need as far as the linebackers. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try to bid for Tyrann Mathieu. We do have Chuck Clark there, but getting Tyrann Mathieu would just put this team on the map for sure. I mean, they already are, but getting Tyrann Mathieu would just make this team even better. So I'm going to increase the offer just a little bit, obviously. We're going to try to get Tyrann Mathieu to be our strong safety just to add some more pursuit to our defense. And just like that, our negotiations of day one are going to be Mathieu, Sebastian Joseph Day, and Antonio Brown. So hopefully we're able to secure all of them on free agency. That would be huge if we're able to. So let's send them next week and see if we get lucky and get all three of them for the Baltimore Ravens. And we are going to hopefully get all of them. We didn't get the defensive tackle. So that's really crappy. So we got Tyrann Mathieu, we got Antonio Brown, which is great, but unfortunately we did not get the nose tackle that we really needed, and Sebastian Joseph Day. But hey, we did walk away with Tyrann Mathieu, which is just awesome. So we love that, obviously. So now you have some depth at the safety position. Offensive line and weapons on offense look great. You have Duvernay, Rashad Bateman, Antonio Brown, Marquise Brown. So like I said, Antonio Brown being in Baltimore just seems inevitable. I know some people probably believe that Antonio Brown's probably never going to play in the NFL again based off what he's done, but trust me, teams do not care. They will sign you still. So I think Antonio Brown will be a Baltimore Raven most likely. So defensive tackle is still a huge need right now. So let's go take a look at free agency again and see if we can get lucky and maybe have our $10 million go towards a nose tackle. Sebastian Joseph Day would have been the best thing we could have gotten, but unfortunately he decided to go elsewhere. Or we could potentially look on the open market on the trades and try to see if we can find a defensive tackle that way, which could make some sense as well. So if we take a look at the nose tackle positions, we have Linval Joseph, BJ Hill, which BJ Hill wouldn't be bad. We could sign him here. Jerron Reed. So there's actually some decent options. Tim Settle. But since this team is kind of a contending roster and wants to compete for championships with the team they have now, I'm kind of interested in potentially trading for a nose tackle, just because I feel like that would be a lot of fun to do. So I don't know if there's going to be one available that makes sense. If not, we'll probably just go back to free agency. But I'm going to take a look real quick before we go to free agency and sign a nose tackle and see if there's anything we can get, obviously, out of the trades. Instead of trading for a defensive tackle, what we're going to try to do is actually improve the middle linebacker position with Devondre Campbell, and then I think we'll use our first round pick on a defensive lineman at the nose tackle position. So Devondre Campbell, we are not his number one offer yet, so we're going to try to decrease this contract as well a little bit. So let's see if that would get us to... No, it's not. So he's looking for like a 4-year deal, so I guess we have to go back to that 4-year mark, and that'd be 100 total points. That's going to put us at second, but we're not quite there. Do I want to offer more? I don't know if I want to lock myself into Devondre Campbell for too long, but yeah, I mean, the Bengals have a pretty good offer on him. Do I just want to go for Dante Hightower instead, maybe as a veteran middle linebacker? We'll go ahead and go for Dante Hightower, I guess, instead, who's just going to be a bit cheaper, and then it's going to be a 1-year deal instead of signing Devondre Campbell for 4 years. So kind of like that a little bit better. And then Benedard McKinney, I'm not going to go for. And then Jalen Smith. Yeah, we're not worried about any of these other guys here in free agency. All right, so let's go ahead and see if we get... who was it? Dante Hightower. I almost said Devondre Campbell, but Dante Hightower on day 2 of free agency. And then after that, we head for the draft. So we got Devondre Campbell, or not Devondre Campbell, Dante Hightower to be our middle linebacker. So now taking a look at the defense, obviously the biggest hole on the defense is going to be the defensive tackle position. I like the offensive line. It's not bad. Obviously, you got Ronnie Stanley back, who would be great. And then looking at the defense, you have Patrick Queen, Dante Hightower. You got Tyus Bowser, Deshaun Elliott, Tyrann Mathieu, Chuck Clark, Marcus Peters, Derek Wolfe, Jay. I'm not going to say his last name. I'm not going to know how to, so I'm not even going to attempt it. And then you got Marlon Humphrey, Tavon Young. So is Jimmy Smith gone? I just noticed Jimmy Smith isn't here. I assume Madden may have cut him before the season started, before I simulated. I don't know. But whatever. Let's go ahead and simulate to the draft, and let's see what we can get here on draft night for the Baltimore Ravens. So here in the NFL draft, been kind of contemplating what I want to do here on draft day. We only have 40 seconds, so I got to make my selection fast, but I've been kind of contemplating. We need to build in the trenches, so I think what I want to do is I want to draft offensive linemen and defensive linemen. Obviously, we need a D tackle. Aiden Hutchinson's here. In real life, he's not going to fall this far, unfortunately, so I'm not going to draft him. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to go down to this position, and we're going to draft Jordan Davis with this selection and be just great with that. So Jordan Davis, defensive tackle. I know Aiden Hutchinson is supposed to go like number 1 or number 2, so that's probably not going to happen. So we're going to go to the next user pick. So we got a nose tackle. What I want to do now is kind of focus on an offensive line. Let's see if we get lucky. Maybe we have I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Charles Cross is still here. It doesn't look like it, so it didn't look like we got that lucky. We got Nick Broker, Trent McDuffie. We have Tyler Davis here. Okay, so Matt Corral, Haskell Garrett. All right, so we didn't get that lucky. Adam Anderson as a linebacker could be interesting as well. Nolan Smith. So we could continue to look at outside linebackers as well. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to draft an offensive lineman here. We're going to draft, let's see which one would be the best. We have outside linebackers here. Darian Kennard out of Kentucky. He's got C run block. He's got D lead block, D run block, power, C pass block bar, and C run block. Okay. Darian Kennard, maybe an option there. And then we also have Thayer Munford here with C awareness. And you got D lead block D. So none of these guys look that great so far. I was kind of hoping Charles Cross would maybe fall over here, but he did not. And then last but not least, out of Ole Miss, A impact block. And then you got C run block power. I mean, at least he's got an A somewhere. So we'll go ahead and draft the left tackle, Nick Broker, out of Ole Miss. And we needed offensive line help, so I'm happy with that selection. Let's go to our next pick. And we're probably going to draft maybe another O-lineman or whatever I guess is here. So it doesn't really matter. Maybe even a linebacker here if it makes sense. So let's see. Drake London, McDuffie, Nolan Smith. We've scouted quite a bit. Did we get lucky and have... no, we did not. So Don... Nope. He did not drop to us what I wanted. So what we're going to be looking at is Nolan Smith here. Power rusher. He's got block shedding. That's all question marks. A, B catching, A stamina, D injury, D play recognition, C power moves. We're going to draft a left outside linebacker here just to add some more depth to the defense. And then last but not least, we'll go to our 4th round draft pick and see if we can grab a number in the 4th round. So we're going to grab, let's see. I think I might go O-lineman here again. Let's see. We got Henry, we got Wanya Morris, Ed Ingram, left tackle, B pass block, F run block. We scouted him quite a bit. F run block power, C pass block, C pass block finesse. So we're going to draft Ed Ingram here with our 4th round pick, and we'll see how that goes. So that's going to be our draft. Hopefully it was a pretty good one. I mean, I think we did a decent job, but I mean, drafting Jordan Davis was a W. Just don't know other than that if anything else was a W, but we'll see what happens. The draft recap's going to have us looking like this. Jordan Davis, and yeah, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much our only good selection, which is fine because basically what we needed the most for this next season was a defensive tackle. So the fact that we got a good nose tackle is great, and he'll be starting immediately. So I feel pretty decent about myself. But I feel like it obviously could have been maybe a little bit better. But looking at the offense and the defense, I think we are in for a playoff season, hopefully. But you guys know me. In Madden, it feels like every time I expect to make the playoffs, we don't. And every time I don't expect to make it, we do make it. So we'll see how it goes. Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Patrick Ricard, Antonio Brown, Marquise Brown, Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay's down there as well. You got some young offensive linemen who are not going to be in there, obviously, that we drafted. But we got Ronnie Stanley, Powers, Bozeman, Zeitler, Jawan James, and then Mark Andrews and Nick Boyle. And defensively, if you take a look, we have Tyrann Mathieu, Marcus Peters. We got Jordan Davis. Not going to say his name. Derek Wolfe, Marlon Humphrey, Deshaun Elliott, Tyus Bowser, Patrick Queen, Dante Hightower, and I don't know how to pronounce this guy's last name. Odoff Away. I don't know if that's how you say it. Probably not, but we're going to go ahead and simulate this season. Like I said, I expect to make the postseason with the Ravens. I think it makes sense that we make it, but you never really know with this game. Nothing is guaranteed, so we'll see what happens. But you look at that. Season comes to an end, and we ended up going 4-13. Okay, Madden, I see you. Wow. All right. Well, that was, I told you, bro. I feel like every time I expect to make the playoffs, I don't. But every time I don't expect it, I do make it. Like, what is this, Madden? 4-13 on the season for the Baltimore Ravens. I definitely have to see what went wrong for this team for that to go down. 4-13 is a joke. All right. We got 26 touchdowns, 4,200 yards from Lamar Jackson. And he had 6 interceptions. So Lamar did his thing. Rushing wise, J.K. Dobbins, 900 yards. Lamar had 600 as well. 5 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, and then 4 from Gus Edwards. Receiving wise, Mark Andrews, Antonio Brown, both had very productive years. Marquise Brown, almost 1,000 yards as well. Rashad Bateman, 720 yards, 7 touchdowns. And then taking a look at the defense, sacks wise, I mean, 5.5 from Tyus Bowers, 4 from Odoff, and then interceptions wise, we had 4 from Marlon Humphrey, 2 from Dante Hightower, 1 from Queen, and 1 from Tyrann Mathieu. So, I mean, I don't know, man. That's just kind of what happens. That's how Madden treats me, really. I mean, every time I expect to not make it, we do make it. But every time I expect to make it, we don't make it. So, I don't really understand it, to be honest with you. Defensively, we were okay, but I don't know, man. We just did not make the playoffs. So 4-13 is how we did. I mean, that's really kind of bad. I don't expect the Ravens to be that bad next. I mean, I guess the Madden does not believe in the Ravens at all. So, wow. Oh, that is just going to always be. Playoff picture, if we take a look. Cleveland, Tennessee, Miami, Indianapolis, Steelers, Chargers, Cowboys, Bucks, Packers, Falcons, and then Washington and Seattle. Carolina has the first round bye, and Chiefs have the first round bye. How does Carolina get a first round bye, man? I don't get it. Whatever. All right. Let's see who wins the Super Bowl now that we didn't make it. So send to the Super Bowl. And that is how the offseason of the Ravens win. I am very disappointed in Madden right now. I'm not going to lie. All right. So we got Carolina and Indianapolis in the Super Bowl. Well, that is just... I have to see who's starting for both teams. I really do, because this does not make any sense. So Carolina... is starting Sam Darnold. So Sam Darnold's in the Super Bowl. Okay, noted. And then we have, who was the other team? Colts. That's right. They have Jameis Winston. Okay. All right. That's how it's going to go next year. Same to next week. Carolina versus Indianapolis. And we have Sam Darnold winning the Super Bowl over Jameis Winston. If that is our Super Bowl next year, I will delete my YouTube channel. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. That was disappointing, but this is Crushables 2. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.